materials that are available from Storytime STEM Packs. It was in the one pager if you had an access to the one pager, but nonetheless, I didn't want you to miss it. So let me throw that out there. Okay. So again, thanks for choosing Storytime STEM Packs to learn more about it. And I'm Mike Fairley. I'm the director of the program that brings Storytime STEM Packs. So we want to first give a great thank you, shout out to the Iowa Governor's STEM Advisory Council for once again inviting Storytime STEM Packs to be a STEM provider in Iowa for this year. We are returning for our second year, actually, so we're excited about that. All right, so as I said, we're Storytime STEM Packs. We're a project that designs and distributes STEM and computer science instructional materials for the pre-K to 2 educators, right? So that's our target, pre-K to 2. And Storytime STEM Packs, it's not your typical company. We're part of what's called the Math and Science Collaborative, and we're located in an intermediate unit. Pennsylvania has 29 different intermediate units spread out throughout the state to support the Department of Education. I'm sure Iowa has something akin to that as well. So we're a regional educational service agency, and it just so happens that we created and designed this innovative tool to make available to anyone from pre-K to 2. And so again, as I mentioned, we're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have a long history, my group and team have a long history providing professional development specifically around STEM education. So we bring that to bear in all of our instructional materials here. So our mission here is to really make it easy to engage kids in effective, fun, and integrated STEM activities. And that really is our driving force behind it. I don't do this by myself, obviously. There's a lot of people. Well, this is the core team that does the heavy lift. Gabriella Rose, she's really the principal investigator. She's responsible for really making this possible because she went out with Sam Schoenfeld on this screen. They secured a National Science Foundation grant that was specifically targeting opportunities for educators to come up with educational innovations around STEM education. So that was really the seed that kind of planted the idea. And Michelle Burgess, she's one of our math experts in computer science, does a lot of helping us design and facilitate the learning around these STEM packs, as well as Dr. Corinne Morawski, who is also one of our mathematics experts. Gabriella Rose, I should mention, is also our science and engineering content expert as well. Let me admit some folks there. And Sam, Sam's one of he's been with us forever. He's really our guru when it comes to storytelling, working with the leadership and administration, etc. So we make a strong team. We're excited to bring that to bear with all the materials that we use. Hi, Aaron. Glad you could join us. You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. Just introducing who the team is behind Storytime STEM Packs for the most part. We also have partners, and one of the partners critical to this particular project is Terrapin. In fact, Mr. Glass is joining us right now, who is the CEO of Terrapin. So yeah, we're excited to have this fantastic partner. Terrapin, they are the company that brings us the B-Bots, that brings you the B-Bots. The B-Bot is the star of every Storytime STEM plus C adventure, which I will explain more as we go through here. But Terrapin has this long history in computer science and coding, spanning all grade levels. B-Bot is the foundation of their current line of coding robots, and it's absolutely ideal for the pre-K to 2, the young learners. So, hello, Bill. Good to see you. Another partner that again makes this all possible is our partnership with one of our special education centers. All right, so our intermediate unit supports 3 different special needs special education centers in the Pittsburgh region. The Mon Valley School is one of them. The students actually, this is part of their curriculum, their materials handling curriculum. So they're specifically there to get life skills, job skills, right? Career readiness skills. And believe it or not, Storytime STEM Packs has become a core component of their materials handling course that they are enrolled in all year. So they do everything from packing all of the STEM packs, packing all the materials in individual baggies, as you can see there, boxing them up, shipping them through UPS. They really do a ton for us. And it's been a fantastic partnership. They're benefiting from it by getting real world experiences. And obviously it's supporting our ability to distribute STEM packs on a much greater scale than we normally would be able to. So our core product, obviously, is Storytime STEM Pack itself. And a typical STEM pack contains, right, an engaging children's storybook. It comes with all the materials and everything you would need to implement this. It has all the hands-on and print materials to support up to 24 children. So that's an important component, right, to support up to 24 children. And if there are print materials, I should say consumable materials, print materials like that, we often provide a QR code that you can, print out those printable materials again. And obviously there's a one-page facilitator guide that lays out real quickly, what's this Storytime STEM Pack about, both content and practice-wise. And on the back side is really the directions on really how to facilitate it. And I'll go a little deeper into that. But everything you need to know about the STEM Pack is contained on that one pager. So I'm going to let the story itself here, the video, kind of tell the story a little more clearly and more exciting than I could. So here we go.
This is your living room / yoga shanty / regional office / and this is the basement / pan.
Storytime STEM Plus C adventures are designed to actively engage children in STEM and computer science learning experiences. Dragonland is anchored by a series of 3 books about the adventures of Girl and Dragon. In this integrated adventure, children solve STEM and computer science challenges by enacting scenes from the books. Materials include storybooks, 6 vinyl mats, all the materials needed for the hands-on activities for 24 students, and a facilitator guide for each of the adventures. Dragonland Adventures has been implemented in over 100 classrooms and libraries, serving preschool through 2nd grade children. When we ask teachers to tell us what resonated most with their students, here are some of the things they tell us.
My students absolutely loved the Dragonland Adventures. They were engaged, problem-solving, and team-building while participating. I think what resonated the most with them was how the Bee-Bot actually moved to the place they wanted it to go. I heard a lot of students saying things like, "I can't believe he went where I wanted him to go," or "I made him go there." They were so proud of themselves.
I think what resonated most with my students when they were engaged in Dragonland Adventures were the stories. I feel like the kids were invested in every character. They loved the playful, loving dynamic between Girl and Dragon, and they especially loved Cat. They definitely felt sympathy for Cat as they worked hard to keep him dry. I think the stories and activities were perfect, as all kids can relate to the things Girl and Dragon experienced. Our favorite by far was Evermore Dragon. Every kid can relate to playing hide and seek, and they were excited to play hide and seek with their dragon bots.
Okay. Come on. Exit out. Give me 1 sec to get out of that. It's not letting me out. I'm not sure why. Again, there we go. Okay. And all right, so you got to see a glimpse there of Dragonland Adventures. That's one of 4 different adventures that you get to pick from. You get to pick one of the 4 Storytime STEM plus C adventures. So I'm going to talk about adventures because they're a little more comprehensive than just a typical Storytime STEM pack. So as you can see here, well, as you saw in the video, first of all, so the Bebop, once again, right, it's the star of the whole show. In that case, we provide costumes to dress up the Bebop as a dragon, and that goes along with, obviously, the trilogy of the stories that are contained in this adventure. So the point of an adventure is it does obviously highlight the importance and engage children in computer science and coding, computational thinking, but there's also STEM activities that we intentionally weave throughout. So all Story STEM plus C adventures consist of 5, I say again, 5 themed comprehensive computer science and STEM activities. So in essence, you're getting, if you want to consider it like a lesson, you get 5 different lessons in one adventure. Each of them is anchored by, the adventure themselves are anchored by, in this case, 3 children's books, and comes with 6 Bebots, as you see there, with the charging station, and 6 colorful themed vinyl mats that obviously are themed to the adventure itself. All the hands-on and print materials, once again, to support up to 24 children are also included. As part of the Storytime STEM package, Iowa educators, as I said before, get to choose one adventure. This is one of them, Dragonland. So, but that's in essence what an adventure, and that's how it's different than just a STEM pack that we saw briefly a minute ago before this, where again, it's just one storybook in a typical STEM pack with materials to still support 24 children, but it's basically one lesson if you want to think of it that way with a typical STEM pack. All right, so we started Storytime STEM packs with, as I mentioned earlier, with the help of a National Science Foundation I-Corps for Learning grant, right? So that's, as part of this grant, we had to interview 130 educators to learn what they were looking for in regard to STEM education. And what we found was that first and foremost, educators want to be able to engage their children, so that the activities have to be fun and engaging for the kids. We also learned that many educators, especially of young children, do not have the luxury of having a STEM background, and therefore are looking for support when implementing STEM materials. The overwhelming majority of these folks have very little preparation time, especially in today's world. So we're all looking for materials that are easy to use with minimal prep time involved. So applying the work that we do as professional developers, we wanted to honor those needs, but we also want to make sure that the materials are aligned to national standards to start a foundation, to start building that foundation for STEM plus computer science in the early years. Therefore, all of our activities are based on national standards, the Next Generation Science Standards, that's NGSS, Common Core Mathematics Standards, and Computer Science Standards. And all of our materials are grounded in the research on how children learn, and in particularly how young children learn best. So here's a quick overview of what an Iowa educator would receive should you apply and go for Storytime STEM packs. So as I said before, you get one Storytime STEM plus C adventure. So there's, in addition to the Dragonland that we've already witnessed, there's Moon Adventures, Earth Day Adventures, and our newest one, brand new, Blue Girl Adventures, which again, I'm going to talk about each of these in a moment. You also get to pick one mathematics themed Storytime STEM pack, and there's 7 of those to pick from. And you also get to pick one science and engineering Storytime STEM pack. And again, you get to pick from 9 that have that content focus. So you get quite a bit, which is important to know. So let's talk about Moon Adventures, right? So that is focusing on computer science once again, but it's both unplugged with sequencing cards and on the moon map, where the Bebot explores craters, it collects moon rocks, and finds footprints on the moon. An engineering design challenge of making the spacesuit is also a part of this adventure. And you can see that in the right-hand corner there. The children love this. They absolutely love it. So the next adventure to talk about is Earth Day Adventures. And this is all about plant growth and development, as well as the relationship between the honeybees and flowers. Again, as with every adventure, computer science is a focus. And the computer science challenges include, in this case, watering plants in the garden, visiting fruit trees, as well as simulating the dance of the honeybees. The Engineer and Design Challenge asks children to design and test a hand pollinator. And as I said a moment ago, well, we've already taken a tour of Dragonland Adventures. So again, it's a fairy tale a fairy tale story of a girl and a dragon on the Dragonland mat. Again, dressing up Bebot to make him into a dragon bot. But this adventure also contains a mathematics challenge, right? And that's where children use non-standard measurement to determine the shortest path to the sea. And an engineer and design challenge where they build a structure to keep cat dry. So, and you got to see that in the video, and there's a few photos there as well. So again, the adventures are more than just computer science. There's always either mathematics and or science and engineering also woven into those. So integration is key here. Okay, and the newest adventure to the menu is Blue Girl Adventures. And this addresses the concept of natural resources with particular emphasis on wind, trees, and water as natural resources that provide energy, food, and water for people. Children observe a simple wind generator, connecting the observation of the wind blowing on the blades of a simple windmill to an LED that lights up when this happens. Bebot takes on the persona of Girlbot, as well as a Squirrelbot during this adventure. So computer science challenges include the Girlbot enacting scenes from the book and delivering fruits and vegetables to people. Squirrelbot collects nuts for a mathematics problem-solving activity. Children empathize with the water princess and act on the need for clean drinking water with an engineering design challenge. And that takes us to through the 4 adventures that, again, you get to pick or choose one of those as part of your kit. You also get to pick one mathematics themed Storytime STEM pack. And as you can see, we have themed these or connected these, aligned these with specific grade level standards, right? Where do they best fit in a particular grade level? So the standard alignment is shown in the alignment to the Iowa mathematics standards. And that would be on that detailed description of the STEM pack materials that I put in the chat window earlier, which I will repost again once I get through this for those that joined us a little later, because I don't think it shows for you when you show up late. Okay, and so again, you got to choose one math themed. You also get to choose one engineering and or science themed Storytime STEM pack. And once again, we have these aligned by grade level, pre-KK, grade 1 and grade 2. You can see real quickly. And if you want to see in specifics the details, again, this detailed description document, a PDF file will lay that out for you to show you what Iowa standards every STEM pack and every adventure is aligned to at each of the grade levels, including practices, right? The 21st century skills as well. All right, so that takes you through really the kit, if you want to call it the kit, right? The materials that you would receive. The other commitment, and this is a requirement of the Iowa Governor's Council here, is that you have to participate in some professional learning of some sort in order to receive the materials. So what we do is a half day, which is roughly 3 hours. It's going to be all virtual synchronous. We have breakout rooms, to make it synchronous and to have it more engaging and hands-on with you. And we do a great job at this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You get to engage in, and this is thanks to Mr. To Bill here and his team, who took our mats and made them into widgets or apps on their website. And so we're grateful for that. And by doing so, you'll get to actually use a programmable Bebot to travel around on these virtual mats, which is incredible. Okay, roughly the dates for this is going to start, I want to say the week of July 16th, right around there. And it will run through early August. And what we're going to do is, one day a week. Mondays are going to be Moon Adventure focused, right? Tuesdays will be Dragonland focused. Wednesdays will be those that chose Earth Day, etc. Right? So you only have to participate in one training, one professional training. And during that, and you'll specifically choose the one that's matched up with your adventure. And again, once we take you through the nuts and bolts and take you through a lot of the learning activities of that adventure, we'll then also give you some inside hints and some discussion around those other individual STEM packs, math and science and engineering focused STEM packs that you chose. So you'll have a chance in that 3 hours to really get your hands on all of it in a virtual way. All right. And those sessions would be in the morning. So we're looking at like 9 a.m. to 12, you know, in that, in case you're wondering, in that range. All right. So I kind of alluded to this already, but, you know, here's kind of what the agenda would look like during that 3 hours. You know, we're really going to focus on, so the math and science Storytime STEM packs that are aligned to a particular grade band. Know that they would not address concepts beyond that grade band. However, there are many studies that show that children benefit from encountering concepts from earlier grade levels in different contexts to build a stronger foundation. The engineer and design STEM packs naturally lend themselves to extending into higher grade levels. So they pose open-ended problems that children will approach differently depending on their prior experiences that they bring to the table, right? To align them to higher grade bands, you can add criteria for success and constraints, right? And 2 components that are not in the standards for pre-K to 2. Children of all ages are going to be able to take the computer science challenges to higher levels when given more time and the opportunity. The children are the best resource to come up with additional tasks that the BBOT can complete. So again, that's on the screen there. That's a rough breakdown of what that 3 hours would look like. So that, again, you will touch upon everything in your kit or your material package. As well as then you know, we stay in contact with you, and you may know some folks that have Storytime STEM packs already in your region. You know, we give lots of, we're an email away, you know, we'll connect with you, we'll talk on the phone if need be to answer your questions. All right. And so for more information, then, like I said, that fact sheet. So let me bring out of that for one moment, and let me bring you that fact sheet. This one here is what I want to share with you one more time. In the chat window, chat, here we go. All right, so this is the detailed description. Let me click on it to make sure that is, I don't want to misspeak. Sure I gave you the right one. Looks like it is. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to keep that open here. I assume everybody can see this, the detailed on the screen, right? Good, thank you. So, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory, but you can see on the right-hand side there, those are all the standards, Iowa standards, that we've aligned these STEM packs and adventures with. And again, everything I've spoken through is listed on the left-hand side, basically. There's other interactive links in there to get you more information. But again, if you just scroll through, you'll get that alignment for each of the STEM packs and adventures that are available. Okay. All right. So that said, let me bring this back. Yeah. Our website's www.storytimestem.com. You can see not only what's available for you to choose from for the Iowa STEM Scale Up program, but we have other STEM packs and that might interest you as well. Now, that's not part of the award itself. We do have others available. So if you have any questions, you can just reach out to me through email or one of these emails here. Well, actually, with this info@storytimestem.com is probably the easiest way. It will get in touch with any of my teammates. And we'll be glad to answer any questions you have. So with that said, check my time here. 4:54, we're doing pretty well. So what questions might you have?
The one, my question is not necessarily about the Storytime STEM packs, but like with the grant. So I'm the STEM coach for the district. And so we had met as a team here in Waterloo to talk about this, and this is something that we'd really like for like K1.
Mhm.
So when I usually fill these out, I fill them out for like the whole district. There's 11 elementary buildings.
Okay.
Would you suggest filling out like an application, one for kindergarten and one for first? Or what would you, so like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying
I know
to
what you're
like
saying.
narrow down exactly what my question
Yeah.
is.
I mean, we can, once you're but you're asking about how to submit the application, how you should write the application is what you're
More
asking.
like if you're looking, would you prefer by grade or just as a district?
It doesn't have to be, it's really your call is what I want to say,
Okay.
but let me say this, it's, I know how it operates. It's targeting the educate, you have to assign educators to your
Correct.
application.
Yes. Yep.
So you don't need to worry about the content, which STEM packs you want to pick. That's something after you get awarded and they notify me that you're awarded, then I reach out to you and you and I can have this conversation and we can customize, hey, we want 6 of Dragonlands, we want 4 of Moon Adventures, and it's these are going to go to so and so,
Okay. Yeah. Just seeing your different options, had me kind of wondering that because there's a lot, you guys have a lot of options with different packs and awesome, but yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. And like I said, I'll be happy to talk you through it. But you can get a variety of things, and then share them across the different schools for that matter. Good question. So yeah, we had several, not just schools, but other institutions last year in this that were in your same boat. So we can handle it. Anything else you guys thinking about, wondering about? Okay. Well, again, I appreciate you giving up your valuable time to learn more about Storytime STEM packs. And as I said, if I can be of any help to you in the future, here, I'll put in my direct email. If you go Storytime STEM packs, I mean, I'm the guy that you're going to get all the emails from, so you might as well take it. Feel free to reach out anytime. Not a problem. All right. Well, hey, you're free to go, obviously. So unless you want to stick around and talk more, I'll be glad to. Otherwise, it was a pleasure to meet you. Good luck with everything. Yeah, good luck with the applications.
Yep.